He wasn't ready.
Okay.
So, yeah, we cheated together, if that makes sense. And then it just wasn't enough. And I was like, well, no, I didn't sign up to do this every day.
We cheated, so you cheated.
No, baby.
Whew. It looks like the R&B streets just got messy again because Nayo is clapping back hard. After his ex-wife, Monyetta Shaw, dropped a bomb in a brand new interview, pulling the curtain on what really went down in their relationship, the singer finally had enough. And this time, he's speaking straight into the camera to clear his name.
No, I did not force Monyetta Shaw to tie her tubes and then leave her. I am, and I have to say this out loud and look directly into the camera. I don't tell women what to do with their bodies.
Yes.
I don't tell women what to do with their bodies. So me and Monyetta did not break up. I didn't meet Crystal until a year later.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody that was hating me for that, you ain't gotta hate me no more. Yay, I did.
Do you want more kids?
I don't know. We might have some more kids. We might not. It's really up to wifey.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you said that because people were really upset about you and the whole situation with your ex.
I know.
Now, did you tell her to not have more babies?
No.
To tie her tubes, or?
So let's go ahead and air this out
clear
because it needs to happen. No, because I was on my social media, not too long ago, talking about the Good Man album and all of that, and then it was I read comments, not that I let the comments really get to me, but in the realm of this, somebody said something like, "How can you call yourself a good man and you made Monyetta Shaw tie her tubes or burn her tubes or whatever the case may be?" So I've taken it upon myself to normally not address these situations, but in the realm of this, the person wasn't so much hating as just confused as to what really happened.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? In the name of clearing up confusion, let me go ahead and do that.
Right.
No, I did not force anybody to tie or burn no tubes. That is not how it happened. Okay. We had a boy. No, we had a girl first, then we had a boy. When we found out it was a boy, we was high-fiving in the doctor's office. Yeah, we done.
Yeah.
I was like, we done? Yeah, we done. All right, cool, we done. So as they were pulling our son out of her, the doctor says, "Hey, while I'm down here, you want me to go ahead and take care of these tubes?"
Right.
She looked at me. I looked at her. She did this. I did this. She said, "Go ahead." What I'm supposed to do? What am I going to do? I can't. Again, I don't force people to do anything. I'm not the person that imposes my will on nobody, and that was not the case there. Now, I will say that she didn't say that I forced her to tie her tubes.
Right. I never saw that she said that.
Yeah, no, she did. That's not what she said. People took it and turned it into that.
Okay.
You forced her to tie her tubes and then you left her for Crystal. Mind you, me and Mo were separated for a whole year before I even met Crystal.
Now, if you've been following Nayo's love life for more than 5 minutes, you already know this man's romantic timeline is more tangled than a set of studio chords. First came Monyetta Shaw, the woman who helped him build his early family, who stood by him when the career was climbing and the fame was still fresh. Then came Crystal Renay, the woman he left her for, married, divorced, and married again, before that ended in disaster. But tonight's drama, this one takes it all the way back to where the heartbreak started.
He wasn't ready.
Okay.
So, yeah, we cheated together, if that makes sense. And then it just wasn't enough. And I was like, well, no, I didn't sign up to do this every day.
We cheated, so you cheated.
No, baby. I mean, like, we did things together. So it's not cheating if you're involved with it.
Oh.
Yeah, like the little...
Okay.
Hey, y'all. She classy, but she got the other side. I'm just very multifaceted, and that's where I was at that time. But it became a problem when you want that, a lot. Like, maybe I'll give you maybe twice a year, but, or
it's like
3 times. But it's like,
too much for you.
Yeah, it was too much. I'm like, oh, if you want that, you don't want me. It was making it seem like I'm not enough. Tried to keep it cute and spicy and stuff, but it wasn't enough. And it is what it is, Shy. So I knew, the plan was coming later. Just trust the process. Well,
It began when Monyetta sat down for a candid chat, and for the first time in years, really peeled back the layers of what she lived through with Nayo. There was no anger in her tone, just that calm, reflective honesty that hurts worse than shouting. He just wasn't ready, she said softly. So yeah, we cheated together. If that makes sense. Wait, cheated together? The clip hit the internet like an earthquake.
It's crazy to me how Neo has gone on to have 5 children since convincing his ex Monyetta Shaw to tie her tubes because he didn't want any more kids. After their breakup, he got married and went on to have 3 kids with his wife and had 2 additional children with a mistress while he was married. This is why you should never make permanent decisions for a man you're not married to. And even when married, you should still proceed with caution. I had a baby 2 months ago, and although my husband and I think we're done having kids, instead of tying my tubes, I got an IUD place which lasts for 7 years, and I can take it out if I ever change my mind. Because you never know how your life will change and if you'll feel differently in the future. So ladies, please don't let any man convince you to make permanent decisions with your body.
Viewers froze mid-scroll, trying to process what she'd just admitted. Monyetta explained that during those years, she and Nayo weren't just dealing with normal relationship issues. They were pushing boundaries, doing things together, trying to keep the spark alive in ways that blurred every line of loyalty. "We did things together," she continued, half smiling through the sting. "It's not cheating if you're involved with it. But it became a problem when you want that a lot. Maybe twice a year, fine. But if that's what you want all the time, you don't want me." The internet went into overdrive. Fans were stunned that she'd confessed something so personal after so many years of silence. Some praised her honesty, saying it finally explained why their once picture-perfect relationship collapsed out of nowhere. Others accused her of rewriting history to save face, especially since her breakup with Nayo has long been tied to one of the biggest betrayals in R&B gossip history. Because back in the day, Nayo and Monyetta looked solid. They had 2 kids together, shared red carpets, matching smiles, the whole black love image. But then came the scandal that would shadow Nayo's reputation for years, the infamous tubes story. According to old rumors, Nayo had convinced Monyetta to have her tubes tied because they agreed they were done having kids. And right after she went through with it, he allegedly left her for Renay, who he later married and had more children with. It was the kind of betrayal that sticks in the public memory forever. So when Monyetta's new interview surfaced, fans immediately connected it back to that heartbreak. They called it full circle karma. The ex-wife finally speaking her truth while Nayo had to sit and listen as the internet dragged him all over again. But Nayo wasn't about to sit quietly this time. He got on camera and said, "Let me clear this up once and for all." Looking straight into the lens, he denied every rumor that had haunted him for nearly a decade. "No," he said firmly, "I did not force Monyetta Shaw to tie her tubes and then leave her. I don't tell women what to do with their bodies. I never have. I never will." His tone wasn't defensive. It was weary, like a man tired of fighting the same ghost over and over again. He even leaned forward and said, "I gotta say this out loud," and looked directly into the camera. "I do not tell women what to do with their bodies." According to Nayo, the story got twisted. He explained that when they had their second child, a boy, they both agreed their family felt complete. "We had our girl first," he said, "and when we found out the next one was a boy, we were high-fiving in the doctor's office. We were done. We both said it." He went on to describe the moment that became tabloid legend. "As they were pulling our son out, the doctor said, 'Hey, while I'm down here, you want me to go ahead and take care of these tubes?' She looked at me. I looked at her. She did this." He made a hand motion. "I did this." She said, "Go ahead. What was I supposed to do?" That was her choice. I didn't force nobody to do anything. It was his way of saying that everything people thought they knew, the villain narrative, the control, the manipulation, was wrong. He even added that the breakup didn't happen overnight. "Me and Mo were separated for a whole year before I met Crystal," he said. "So everybody that's been hating me all these years, you ain't gotta hate me no more." But the timing of his defense only made the drama hotter. Because right as he was clearing his name, Monyetta's quotes about cheating together were blowing up across TikTok, blogs, and gossip pages, and fans were left wondering, why speak up now? Why bring back wounds that the world had almost forgotten? Some say Monyetta just wanted closure. Others think she was trying to remind people that Nayo's public image, the smooth gentleman, the reformed husband, the good man album persona, was built on shaky ground. Either way, it's working. The conversation reignited everything. Those old accusations, those lingering questions about who he really was behind the music. People began dragging out the timeline again, comparing her story to his. Was she covering her pain by calling their mistakes cheating together? Or was Nayo rewriting the past to protect what's left of his reputation? Meanwhile, both exes are playing calm online. Monyetta's posting cryptic quotes about growth and grace. Nayo's doubling down on new music and fatherhood, trying to drown out the noise with lyrics about second chances and lessons learned. But you can feel the tension. The story feels too recent, too raw to be completely buried. Because now that both of them have spoken, fans are combing through every word, every pause, every facial expression, looking for cracks in the truth. And the question everybody's asking right now is simple. Who's telling the real story? Because if Nayo's right, then he's been unfairly painted as the villain for years. But if Monyetta's truth is the real one, then all the denials in the world can't erase what she lived through. And Hollywood's Mr. Romantic might just be as manipulative as the gossip blogs always warned. Either way, This new chapter proves one thing for sure. When you mix love, fame, and secrets, the truth never stays buried for long. Now that Nayo's spoken, you'd think the storm might have calmed down. But no. The second he hit post, the internet caught fire. Within minutes, clips of him saying, "I don't tell women what to do with their bodies," were everywhere. People weren't just watching, they were dissecting. Every pause, every gesture, every tiny flicker in his eyes got replayed like courtroom evidence. And then came the split. Half the crowd said, "Finally, he's clearing his name," while the rest rolled their eyes and said, "Boy, please, you've been lying since 2012. The shade started immediately. One fan tweeted, "Nayo really said, 'She looked at me, I looked at her,' like that's proof of consent? Sir, this ain't a rom-com." Another wrote, "He always finds a microphone when it's time to play victim." But his supporters fired right back, saying Monyetta had been dining out on that story for a decade and that it was about time the man defended himself. Nayo, though, didn't just stop at clearing the tubes rumor. He used that moment to aim a subtle dart at Monyetta's new interview, the one where she talked about them cheating together. His tone never turned angry, but there was this undercurrent of frustration, like a man who's done explaining himself to people who've already made up their minds. "Look," he said, leaning forward in that calm, PR-trained way, "I've made mistakes. I've admitted them. But I'm not gonna let old stories get twisted every few years for clicks. The truth is the truth." That line right there sent social media into a frenzy, because calling her story twisted sounded like he was calling her a liar. And the blogs pounced on it instantly. Headlines started flying. Nayo calls ex twisted, over tube story. Singer dismisses Monyetta's cheating confession. Within hours, the entire narrative flipped. Suddenly, it wasn't about his defense. It was about whether he just reignited a feud that had been buried for years. But here's where it got even messier. Just when everyone thought this was strictly about him and Monyetta, guess who slid into the mix? Crystal Renay, the ex-wife he divorced last year, decided to drop a few timely posts that had fans clutching their phones. No names, no direct mentions, just quiet, loaded captions. One read, "It's always the ones who pretend to heal that keep reopening wounds." Another said, "Some people fight so hard to look innocent that they forget to actually be honest." It didn't take a detective to see who she was talking about. Fans flooded her comments saying, "We know this is about Nayo," and "She's not done with him yet." And honestly, it made perfect sense. Because while Nayo was out here defending his history with Monyetta, Crystal was still healing from her own public humiliation. The cheating, the secret baby, the divorce. The man has burned 2 marriages in front of millions of people. And both women are now using the same word to describe him: narcissist. As all of this blew up, TikTok and Twitter turned into an open trial. People pulled receipts, old interviews, magazine spreads, anything that could prove who was telling the truth. Some fans dug up a 2014 interview where Monyetta tearfully said she was done having kids because that's what we agreed on. Others pulled clips of Nayo on red carpets with Crystal just months later, grinning ear to ear while Monyetta was still healing. "Timing ain't timing," one user wrote. "How you separated for a year, but posting new love photos right after she's still recovering from surgery." And that's what started the real debate. Was Nayo's version of events just a carefully edited remix? Technically true, but missing the emotion behind it? Because yes, maybe he didn't force her, but he also didn't have to. Sometimes emotional manipulation doesn't look like control. It looks like persuasion dressed up as partnership. Fans weren't the only ones weighing in either. Industry insiders began whispering that Nayo's latest attempt at image repair might have done more harm than good. "He should have let it die quietly," one anonymous producer said. "Every time he defends himself, he reopens the wound." People don't want explanations. They want accountability. And you could feel that pressure. Because even though Nayo's career has been relatively stable, his reputation keeps taking hits every time one of his exes speaks up. His romantic drama has outlived his chart runs. And that's saying something for a man who once wrote half the R&B hits of the late 2000s. Meanwhile, Monyetta played it cool. She didn't respond directly to his denial. No messy rants, no clapbacks. Just one polished Instagram story with a simple message: "God knows the truth. I don't need to prove what I lived through." And that quiet response only made her look stronger. Fans flooded her comments calling her graceful, classy, and healed. Still, everyone knows silence speaks louder than shade. Because that same day, she was spotted at an Atlanta charity gala, smiling for photos like nothing happened. The kind of smile that says, "I've said my piece. The rest is between him and God." But if Nayo thought her calm meant the conversation was over, he was mistaken. Because the internet doesn't let anything go, especially not when there's video proof on both sides. The same podcast clip where Monyetta said, "We cheated together," started trending again alongside Nayo's "I didn't force nobody" interview, back to back, side by side. with fans captioning it, "Two sides of the same heartbreak." What made the situation even more chaotic was how familiar it all felt, like a broken record repeating itself. Different woman, same drama. Fans pointed out that the same way he downplayed Monyetta's pain years ago, he later dismissed Crystal's. The same cycle of denial, deflection, and carefully worded clarifications. One viral tweet summed it up perfectly. Nayo's love life is proof that you can't harmonize your way out of accountability. At this point, it's not just about a marriage gone wrong. It's about reputation. Nayo's brand has always been built on love songs and loyalty. But now, every romantic lyric sounds like a PR statement. When he sings about heartbreak, fans side-eye the stage. When he talks about growth, people bring up receipts. And now, with Monyetta reclaiming her voice and Crystal quietly echoing the same wounds, it's starting to look like the Good Man album might have been wishful thinking. But this story's far from done, because insiders are saying Nayo's not finished talking. He's planning to set the record straight one more time. And word is, he's about to go deeper than ever before. And when a man who's built a career on love songs starts defending his love life this loudly, you already know part 3 is about to get wild. By the time the dust started to settle, Nayo had officially turned his heartbreak into a headline again. What began as a simple clarification turned into one of the most dissected R&B scandals of the year. And the man who once sang Miss Independent was now out here defending his independence from every ex and rumor that ever haunted him. But the truth? He looked tired. A few days after his viral interview, paparazzi caught him leaving a studio in LA, face hidden under a bucket hat, hoodie pulled low, trying to dodge questions. One photographer shouted, "Nayo, you gonna respond to your ex-wife's claims?" He just sighed and said, "Y'all gonna believe what you wanna believe." And that line, that quiet little sentence, might have been the most honest thing he said all week. Because right now, Nayo's stuck in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Every time he tries to clear his name, another old story resurfaces. People are revisiting the past like detectives connecting red strings on a corkboard, Monyetta's heartbreak, Crystal's divorce post, even that public apology tour after the secret baby scandal. It's all being replayed, reanalyzed, rejudged. He's not just battling rumors anymore. He's battling his own history. But even through the chaos, there's one thing everyone agrees on. Nayo knows how to move on fast. Within weeks of Crystal finalizing their divorce, he was spotted performing in Vegas, flashing smiles, and pretending like his life wasn't unraveling online. But no matter how good he looks in the spotlight, the comments under every post tell a different story. Man's out here doing concerts, but can't perform loyalty. Nayo should drop an album called Accountability. At least it'd be new content. Bro be out here remixing excuses like they platinum singles. It's brutal. The internet's got no chill. And yet, the fans who've been with him since So Sick can't help but feel conflicted. Because this isn't some up-and-coming rapper getting caught up in drama. This is Nayo, the man whose lyrics raised an entire generation on the idea of love, commitment, and maturity. Watching him stumble through scandal after scandal feels like watching your favorite teacher get caught cheating on a test. Meanwhile, Monyetta's glow-up continues. She's booked, smiling, and back on reality TV, carrying herself like a woman who's finally at peace. She doesn't need to defend her truth anymore because she already told it. The rest? She's leaving to karma. Crystal, on the other hand, hasn't said Nayo's name in months, but the shade is still strong. She's been leaning into her soft life era, posting pictures from luxury trips, captions about self-worth, and quotes like, "The best revenge is peace." And the fans? They eat it up. Every time she posts, the comments are filled with, "That's how you heal." And keep shining, sis. It's almost poetic. The women he once promised forever to have now become symbols of survival, while the man who used to sing about forever is stuck explaining yesterday. But you can tell this still stings Nayo, because during a recent concert in Atlanta, right before performing Mad, he paused and told the crowd, "Sometimes people forget that I'm human too." The audience went quiet. It was one of those rare moments where the stage lights hit him just right, and for a second, he didn't look like a superstar. He just looked like a man who keeps losing the women who once believed in him. Still, when the beat dropped, he slipped right back into performer mode, because that's what Nayo does best. He might not win at love, but he'll always win at pretending it doesn't hurt. But deep down, everyone can see the pattern. Every time a woman tells her side, he steps up to defend his image. Every time he tries to look like the good guy, another ex reminds the world why that story doesn't quite stick. It's a never-ending remix of romance, regret, and reputation management. Now fans are wondering what comes next. Will he ever fully own up to what happened behind the scenes, or will he just keep rewriting the story until people stop asking? Because one thing about Nayo, He's a master at turning his pain into poetry. But this time, the lyrics might not be enough to clean up the mess. And as for Monyetta, she doesn't need to clap back anymore. Her truth is out there, her peace is public, and the world finally sees the woman behind the rumors. She walked through the fire, came out polished, and left Nayo standing in the smoke. So what do y'all think? Did Nayo clear his name or just dig the hole deeper? Do you believe his version of events? Or is this just another chapter in his long history of charm, chaos, and contradictions? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Because if there's one thing we know about Nayo, it's that the drama never stays in the past. See y'all on the next one.